Hi, and thanks for joining me today. I am making wild rice. We're always looking for a good side dish to go with our meals, and we get tired of the same things: potatoes and plain white rice, French fries, mashed potatoes. So today I'm going to make a wild rice that can actually serve as a meal in itself, or definitely as a side dish. So I'm going to use wild rice today. It's just a tiny bit healthier than regular white rice. It does have a different texture, a more firm texture, and you can, just like rice, white rice, you can infuse a lot of flavors into it. So let's get started, okay? So today I'm gonna have, I have my wild rice here, and we are going to add spinach, cause for a veggie. I like adding veggies to my side dishes because then that kind of eliminates one more thing that I have to do in the kitchen. I have some vegetable stock here, some dried cranberries, some cashews, garlic cloves, leeks, onions, and today we're going to be using the no salt seasoning and the everyday essential seasoning. And a few tips about the wild rice. It does take longer to cook than regular white rice because of the brown rice that's in it. And if you've had brown rice, you know sometimes it takes forever. So what I do is for every 1 cup of rice, I use 4 cups of water, liquid, stock, whatever you want your liquid to be, and then I cook it with the lid on medium to medium low for 30 minutes. Then I let it sit for 10 minutes. I turn the fire off, do not take the lid off, and let it sit for 10 minutes so it can finish cooking. With a dish like this, it'll also cook once we put it in the saute pan. So if you don't want to wait that 10 minutes, you don't have to because you're going to transfer it to a new pan and infuse a lot of herbs and spices and flavor into it. Or if dry wild rice is hard to find, then you can use pre-cooked wild rice, and they come in the bag like Uncle Ben's or Rice-A-Roni. So many different brands out there. It doesn't matter what brand, but it's already cooked in the bag, and you essentially would microwave it. But if you're gonna add it to a dish like this, you can just take it right out the bag, break it up with your fingers, and put it in the pan. And that will actually cut your cooking time down too, because you don't have to wait the 30 minutes to uh, wait for it to cook. So we're going to get started. Right now I have my saute pan heating up, and we are going to start out. I'm only going to use half of an onion today. I did not get me a garbage bowl this morning, but that's okay. So I am in sunny California this morning. Where are you guys? So you just want to chop your onion into bite-sized pieces. The idea of when you add anything to your dishes, make sure that everything is cut pretty much uniform so things will cook quickly. And my pan should be pretty much heated up. Okay. So we have the onions all set. So my pan's heated. We are going to add avocado oil, just a touch. And I like the flavor of olive oil. And I like to mix the two because olive oil has a very low smoking point. And let's get our onions in the pan. And then we are going to add garlic. And the amount of garlic is up to you. I am a garlic lover, so I like to add plenty. And as you can see, I don't use this press that often. I normally, even though I have the garlic press, I still wind up cutting it by hand anyway, just out of habit. But we are going to break barriers today. We are going to use the garlic press. And I'll probably put about 5 cloves in there. Okay. And this is a very quick dish. It doesn't take long to cook this at all. Okay. And we are going to give that a stir. Oh, it smells so good. The best smell, I believe, in cooking is the onions and the garlic. I could just smell that all day. Throw some pasta in here. A little butter. I like butter. And then I'd be done. We could stop right here. Okay. Okay, next we are going to add our spinach. Now, our spinach, as you know, spinach, once it cooks, it's almost non-existent. So this may seem like a lot, but once it cooks down, you'll be amazed at how quickly it goes away. It's like it evaporates. So you just want to cut it in small pieces because you are trying to basically match the size of the rice. So you can, scoop it all up into one nice spoonful. And if you don't care for spinach, or if you're taking a spinach break, other greens you can use kale, and you can also use Swiss chard. If you use either of those two things, definitely cut your pieces very small and allow them to saute with the onions and the garlic, because they take just a tad bit longer to cook. Okay, now my garlic is golden brown, and we want to get other elements in there before the garlic burns. Okay, because garlic will burn really fast, and once garlic burns, it turns bitter. So at this point, we are going to add our rice. Start mixing that in there. Take some of the pressure off the garlic. And with this meal, you can make as much or as little as you want. These are one of those meals that you can make for a large gathering because it's simple ingredients. Okay. Then we are going to add our spinach to that. Spinach is good. I'm going to go ahead and just get all of that in there. Why not? The more veggies, the better. Because this dish your family will love, and you want to give them as much veggies as you can, especially the kids, because kids and veggies, sometimes it can be difficult. Okay. So we are going to give that a little stir. All right, and I still, even though my kids are adults and most times they eat out with their friends, they, or just go, they want the fast food. They work at, one of them works at a fast food restaurant. So they don't eat at home as much, or they kind of do their own thing. But I still make meals for big crowds. Eventually it gets eaten. There's hardly ever anything in this house that goes to waste. Okay? So we are going to season our dish today with a little bit of everyday essential. And the everyday essential is my all-purpose blend from Twylla Spices and Essentials. Okay? And it's onions, garlic, a little bit of rosemary, salt. It's actually it's like one of my top sellers. And then we're also going to use some of my no salt. And I like to use no salt in dishes like this because if I want to just infuse flavor without all the extra sodium, this definitely does it. So I can use as much of this as I want and not have to worry about giving myself high blood pressure at the end of the meal. And this has, you know what, we're just going to do that. This has onions, garlic, red bell pepper, green bell pepper, a little bit of celery seed. There's so many different flavors in this, and it's so versatile that you can use it pretty much in any dish and get a wonderful flavor. So now we are going to add cashews. I'm going to turn my heat down low, medium low, and we're going to add cashews. Cashews are buttery and they are delicious, and it gives it the extra, a little bit of a bite, but it adds the protein to this dish, so which will lead it to being, this can be for vegan. If you eliminate, when I put in the chicken stock, you can just use water or you can use vegetable stock. And you can even mix, a little bit of water and a little bit of wine. But here we're adding the cranberries, and that just gives it this slight sweetness. It's not overpowering. And then we are going to add a little bit of vegetable stock. And how much is up to you. If you want your rice on the wetter side, or if you want it on the moist, a little bit more moist. And you can always add a small amount at a time. Give that a stir. Stir in those cranberries. Actually, we are just going to pour the rest of that in there. And you can see how this can be a standalone meal. You have your protein with your nuts. You have a veggie. You even have a fruit in there with the cranberries. Okay. Now, I love Leeks. And I love Leeks mainly because, yes, it tastes like an onion. And yes, I have onions in there. But it's a different onion taste. I mean, you put that in towards the end. I like to take some of the darker greens from the top. And then I also, get rid of that end piece, like some of the bulb part from the bottom. So leeks works just like scallions. You use it to finish your dish. And we don't want it to be overpowering, so we're going to cut that up just a little bit more. And it also adds nice color. Plus, this household love onions. I believe my husband would eat an onion like an apple if he didn't think it would scare me away. He loves onions. Okay. Okay. That looks delicious. So then you would put your lid on and you would allow this to simmer just until your rice is done. But if you use, whether you use the rice that you cook or uh, the rice that's already prepared, it doesn't take long. You don't have, this could sit for like maybe 2 minutes and you're all set. So we are going to plate. We are going to use, give that board a wipe, make it look nice and pretty for you. Okay. So again, this meal is actually, like I said, you can use this as a standalone or you can cook you a protein on the side. And you actually could just add some shredded pork into this dish. You could add a little bit of shredded chicken into this dish. If you are vegan and you want your meat substitute, tofu, you can even add various types of nuts. You don't have to just use cashews in this dish, and it would taste just as delicious. So this is done. We are going to go ahead and turn our fire off, and we are going to plate this up. This looks and smells amazing. So there you have it. Wild rice with cashews and cranberries. Beautiful. So I just want to thank you for joining me today in cooking this wild rice dish. I hope it's something that you and your family will enjoy. I believe that you will enjoy the sweet and the savory mixed together, and it's bursting with flavors because of the no salt seasoning, along with a little dash of salt because salt is a flavor enhancer. So until next time, enjoy.